Hi guys and gals, today we're going to talk about the forearm. Now this topic is really controversial, and the reason is there are a number of people that believe that just doing pull-ups and bicep exercises and hammer curl and things like that is going to be enough for the forearm, and there are other people who believe that these muscles are really separated and you just need to train them heavy, a lot of repetition sets and things like that. Neither of those people are right. You've got to be somewhere in between. So yes, of course, doing pull-ups, bicep exercises, and just grabbing a dumbbell is going to work on the forearm, but you've got to understand that it's not going to be enough. So you need to do some exercises to make them strong and give them a shape or form as well, but you do not need to overdo them because you don't want to get them fatigue them or get them exhausted, so they are not going to be able to perform at their best when you are doing back exercises or other exercises, especially back and any pulling exercise. So today I'm just gonna tell you about the anatomy of the muscles. Although it's really complicated, there are around 20 muscles just in this area. I'm not even including the hand itself, although some of the muscles cross the hand, but there are a lot of muscles in the hand, but we're not going to talk about them. We're just going to talk about the muscles that are between the radius and ulna, so from your elbow to the wrist. Believe it or not, there are around 20 muscles in this area. We're not going to explain them all or go through them all, telling you what they do and things like that, but in general, just know that there are 4 directions that you can move your wrist. It really is easy. Abducting the wrist, which is bringing it to the where the thumb is. So if you do this, this is wrist abduction. This is adduction. So if you do this, when you bring it towards the pinky finger, it's gonna be adduction. Also flexion of the wrist and extension of the wrist. Now you can mix these terms with each other, so you can abduct and flex, you can abduct and extend and things like that. But let's not make it complicated and just talk about these 4 things and tell you how you should perform the exercises. So it's gonna work on all of it. Believe it or not, all I have today is just a bar, and believe it or not, it's gonna be enough for majority of people. If you wanna just target the forearm, all you need is just a bar. Of course, you can add weights on it as well, but for a start, a bar is gonna be good. Just make sure the bar is not really heavy, so something that you can control it. Now, as mentioned, there are 4 things that the wrist is capable of doing. First one, as mentioned, is gonna be abduction. So again, towards the big finger. So if this is the middle part of the bar, I come a little bit back, so the majority of the weight is gonna be in this side. Now, you can choose where to hold the bar. You can grab it from here, it's gonna be a lot harder. You can grab it from here, it's gonna be a little easier, or here. Just make sure you're not in the middle. When you're in the middle, it's gonna be balanced and you're not gonna do a lot of things with your wrist or your forearm. You're just moving the weight. So make sure it's a little bit back and try to bring it up. So make sure the elbow is not getting bent. So bring it down, up, down, up. As you can see, I'm using the muscles in this area, both from the front and the back, to help with the abduction of the wrist. Now, if you want to adduct, do the opposite. All you need to do is, again, if this is the middle and your back, come forward, grab it in the same place. Now this time, try to bring it up again. Now, because the majority of the weight is on the back, this time you're going to use these muscles. So simple. This is adduction, this is abduction. The exercise is gonna be the same, but because the weight is getting changed from one place to the other, it's gonna be hard. And on the muscle that you're gonna target, just make sure you're not using any weight first. If the bar is really weak, you should use another bar. And the reason is, if the bar is really weak and you try to add weight on it, it means that it's just not gonna be able to stand the weight. Or even if it's just not that much heavy, it's just, if the bar is not gonna be enough for you, I don't think that the bar is gonna be able to bear the weight. So it's better to choose a stronger bar for safety. You don't want to break the bar when you're doing this exercise. Again, choose a bar that's good for you. And we talked about abduction and adduction. Now let's talk about flexion and extension. The best exercise that really can work on that is just rolling the bar. I'm flexing this forearm, as you can see here, and this arm is just here for support. And as you can see, when I want to move it forward, now this is free, I'm using a lot of this. So when I'm moving it forward, I'm using a lot of the flexors in the forearm. Now this is for moving forward. As soon as I try to bring it back, so I move the bar backwards, this time, as you can see, I'm just giving the example with this arm, it's here, and I just try to do this. So when I do this, I'm extending, and when I do the opposite, I'm flexing. So just the bar, that was enough for me. Before closing the topic, I just gotta mention that there are two other muscles that kinda are involved in works of the forearm as well, but they do not do any flexion, extension, abduction or adduction of the wrist. The brachialis and brachioradialis, which come from the humerus and go all the way down, they help in bringing the hand up and flexing the elbow. Now, a lot of people, when they train bicep, they're using those muscles to flex the elbow, but if you wanna train them on the day that you train forearm, you can just do some hammer curls and it's gonna do the job. But they are not related to anything that comes to the wrist because they do not come all the way down. So that was for today. Just simply, as you saw, we gave 4 exercises to target all of the forearm. If you had any question, just comment it or send me a direct message in my Instagram, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.